Well, howdy. I'm back again to record more of page 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So I've cut 2 pieces of black cardstock to 10 3/4 inches. So it's slightly shorter. The page is 11 inches. So it's a little bit shorter, just gives you like an 1/8 of an inch wiggle room on either side. And I'm going to score them each at 6 inches on the 12-inch side. That wasn't too smart. So I had one underneath. Okay. And what we are going to do with these is we are going to turn these into inserts. So there's an insert going here. So essentially it is extending the page. Yeah, 6 and 6. And we have that. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I have one of these. And what I thought of doing is putting half on the one side and half on the other. So it kind of is over the top. So let's take this one, and this is DBV 32307, and we're going to cut this down to 10, just under 10 3/4 inches. Okay, and then we are going to cut a smidgen off. So we're going to cut this to 11 7/8. Alright, and then we're going to cut it to half of 11 7/8, which is 5 15/16. So literally we should be pretty close in size. I think I've made a mistake with my cut. If you are not keen on measuring such weird and wonderful sizes, okay, so we've got one on the left and one on the right. What you can do is just put them up against the sheet and cut them. So my thought process was to stick them there, or we could stick them there, which would extend the page even further. Remember, that's going to be here. So I haven't decided. I'm liking the idea that it's extending this page, so it opens up and gives us even more space for photos here, yet we're going to be able to pull that out. So let's do that. Let's just make sure that it fits. Okay, it needs a smidgen off, so I'm actually going to cut inside here. Am I? Yes. Let's check this one because it just needs to be less. It is. Alright, so we're going to stick it on this side. Not too sure my black cardstock is the right measurement, so maybe a little bit crooked, so I'm just going to cut this down a little bit and make it fit. You know, a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do. Okay. I forgot to put the cap on this last night. So this is going to the left. So it's extending that side of the page. This is going to go on the right, so let's make sure this one fits. And that is going to be on that side. So we've now got the two outer pieces. There we go. So that's like a massive page if you want it to be, but this also can pull out. So for those of you who don't want to do this, you can leave this off totally. We are going to cover this side. And I'm wondering, I don't have a lot of paper left because this album is big. I have that. Or I have this, or I have this, or this. And I'm thinking that maybe I will split one of these. Let's have a look at the back and see which back we want. Let's have a look and see. I think this one, hold on. What I could do is cut from each of these, but it would be such a waste of a piece. And then I'm going to be left with this middle. Decisions. I also have left from earlier, I've got this little bit which I can use, and I also have this, and I've got this. So let's have a think. Think carefully because we still have to work. We're fine with this one, and I have an idea for that. So I'm good with that. So let's go back to this one because we can use the offcuts. I'm not too sure if I want that. Maybe we do want it to be more plain. Because we're going to put photos on it. I think I'm going to use the back of this. Right, so we're going to cut this down to, and because we're using the back, I'm going to cut off the bottom here, just below 10 3/4. And then we're going to cut it into two 6-inch pieces. And I know that whenever I do albums and that, I always do this matchy sort of stuff. So I'm trying to get away from matchy. Okay, that's that side. And that's that side, which we do know we have to cut a smidgen off. Okay. So let's put it down like so. And I've lost a pencil again. Do you know that if I had 10 Rand for every time I lose a pencil in a day, I think I'd be super wealthy. Okay, so I'm just marking where I want to cut it. And I'm cutting these down to fit it, so it's not an actual measurement, although it looks close to 5 7/8. And I'm going to pop that one on that side and this one on this side, so we have a nice it's like so cute, look here. But we've already got, you know what, I don't think I am going to stick these down yet because I have a little idea, and I'm going to just stick them around the outside edge for now. And like I said to you, I always do this like matchy, and I think I'm trying to get myself away from it. It's just, I love symmetry. Okay. So if this might not work, in which case I can always lift it with the glue undo and stick it down properly. But I'm thinking of sticking some acetate. It's quite tight. Alright, so this one has the option of a little pocket. So let's pop that in there. And let's do the same on this side. You see, it's really cute, but I think that detracts from this. Just remember to stick your tape on the correct side. Forgot to put my phone on silent. Okay, so right, I've got a nice base to now build off. We've got space to put photos, a single photo. I've also got space for acetate. So what I was thinking was coming in with a bit of acetate, adding some acetate tags and stuff. So that was my thought process. Okay, so I'm happy with this space. Remember that you're going to have these things that pull out, and you've got space for journaling or space for extra photos. I'm not going to add pattern paper to those just yet because I don't want to run out of pattern paper. This is now just using one pack of pattern paper. What I'm going to do on this side is I'm going to now stick this down because I have an idea for here, which you will see shortly. And I'm going to also turn it into like a little simple pockets. Okay. Okay, so from this one here, you now have a tuck point on that side and a tuck on this side. So we're going to add, so this is the last page, this is page 6. We are going to add a piece of cardstock, or possibly 2, you could even add more. We're going to cut it to 10.5 by 10.5 inches. And girls, I am designing as I go this time because I was just a little stumped, and so I started with these bits and pieces now, and now I'm just kind of winging it. We want 10.5 And then I'm thinking I'm going to do 2 of them. We're going to do one at 11, which you'll see now, and I'm going to do a second one at 10.5 by 10.5. This is an area where if you need more photos, you could add more onto this just by purely cutting the 10.5 by 11. So picking up my scoreboard, scoring a 10.5 on the 11-inch side. Yep, you girls know what's coming. We're going to create a hinge. We're going to put tape. Let's find my tape. In the 1/2-inch area created by the score line on the right side. And then we're going to stick this one onto this one. So let's just create a little zip on that side and a little zip on this side. And then I'm going to put the 2 wrong sides together. And cut, and then release that. Now when I look here, I've got a little bit of excess. Please, if you've got a little excess and you want to cut it off, please be super careful. Don't cut your hinge, because if you cut your hinge, you'll have to start again. Right, smidgen off. Okie dokie. And my desk is a mess. This little guy is going to extend the size. I've just realized, sorry, we're going to have to cut it down a bit more, purely because I forgot to take into consideration the glue, top and bottom, the tape. So I'm just going to pause this and cut it on my big guillotine. Okay, so I've cut it down to a 10-inch square, and I'm hoping that that fits in perfectly, which it does. So that opens up a whole new space for photos and for embellishing. We might want to, at a later stage, add a sheet of acetate, hold it down the bottom, cut to 10, let's try it in 10.25 inches. That just holds everything in place. Okay, got space to come and embellish that. I mean, start adding photo mats and stuff. Remember, we've still got to sort this out. Right, we've got the back page to do. I am thinking of doing something fun on this back page. And so I'm going to end this video because I need to give this some serious thought.